Greetings, everyone, and welcome. Well, been a little while since we've done one of these. I thought it was long past due, considering I've picked up a pile of stuff over the past couple months, and yeah, let's do an update. Comic books, and lots of them. Update time. Today, on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. I don't know why I did that, so don't even bother asking me, because even I don't know. Yeah, so let's just start at the top here. So we'll start off with some individual issues of some cool stuff that I picked up. Now this one, I did a review of the DVD set of this particular animated series from many years ago. The set that I have is kind of a collector's item, and a lot of fans have expressed their jealousy that I have it. So, haha, I have it, and you don't. Or, well, some of you do. But anyway, this was a series that was definitely canceled too soon, and has been finally given a new lease on life in comic book form. I'm, of course, talking about Invader Zim. Yes, Invader Zim is back, and it is gorgeous. This is fantastic. So what we have here is a brand new comic book series put out by Oni Press, written by Mr. Jonan Vasquez himself. So there's actually 3 issues out currently, of which I have the first 2. So there's been multiple covers as well, so you might not see these exact covers on the shelves, on the racks, if you see it around. But yeah, if you're a fan of the show, definitely pick it up. You can't help but hear the characters' voices in your head as you're reading it. It really does capture the essence of it. And being a comic book, they're able to do it's a little bit darker. Like some of the humor is a little bit darker than they could have done on the show. Mind you, the show was pretty dark as well. But yeah, if you love the show as much as I do, definitely check out the comic. It is hilarious and a worthy continuation. And it actually is a continuation, by the way. It actually does continue on from, just kind of assumes that things have still been happening all these years that the show has not been on TV. Then next up, picked up the next batch of issues of Big Trouble in Little China. Now this marks the beginning of the period in which John Carpenter is no longer co-writer. He just basically co-wrote the first, or co-plotted, I guess, the first 12 issues, just to kind of get the ball rolling. But that is it. He has moved on to other things now. And so I got issues 13, 14, and 15. And yeah, again, I'm a little bit behind, so I think issue 16 is out now as well. But pretty cool stuff. And then having been enjoying the oh crap, I gotta find the other issue. Alright, I'll do that. Well, hold on a second, let me see if I can find it here. It's gotta be here somewhere. Great. Where'd it go? Yeah, that's great. I don't know where that went. Hold that thought for just a moment here. Alright, I'm back. It turns out it wasn't misplaced after all. It was just, yeah, well, look at the outtakes after the video and you'll see exactly what happened. Alright, so next up, I've been so enjoying the Big Trouble in Little China comics put out by Boom Studios that I wanted to check out their other John Carpenter-inspired series, namely Escape from New York. So this is issue number 1. Now this is an interesting comic in that, remember how I was talking about how Big Trouble in Little China is a direct continuation of the movie? Well, same thing with Escape from New York. It actually picks up right where the first movie leaves off. So I don't know if they're just going to ignore the events of Escape from LA or what, or just kind of fill in the intervening years. But basically, it just focuses on the story from the end of the first movie, so that's pretty cool. So we got issue number 1, issue number 2, issue number 3, issue number 4, and issue number 5. There's about 10 out so far. It started a few months after Big Trouble in Little China, so I need to get caught up on that as well. I just wanted to pick up the first few issues to kind of get a taste for it. And so far I'm liking what I'm seeing. It doesn't have as much of the humor as Big Trouble in Little China, of course, because Escape from New York was always a little darker, a little grittier, a little more serious. And it definitely continues that tone in this. But yeah, good stuff. And then next up, well, you knew I was going to get these. We got issue number 5 of Jem and the Holograms. The new movie is out now, by the way, the live-action movie, and surprise, surprise, universally panned and hated by everyone. One of my viewers said his wife, I believe, works in a movie theater, and they said that there was literally one person in the premiere showing, and then none for the remaining showings of the day. And there's issue number 6, which actually wraps up the initial 6-part sort of reboot storyline. It is not a limited series. I found out it is going to be a continuing series. They are doing a 7th issue, which is probably already out by now. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to continue collecting that. But yeah, so apparently, what was it? The opening weekend for Jem at this particular theater, they made about $40. Woohoo! Yeah, that's great stuff. And then next up, got an interesting kind of stack of stuff here, just kind of a random selection of things. Annetta, my ex, and her boyfriend frequent some of the local thrift stores and whatnot, and got a box of comic books for about $25. Just a whole mess of stuff. One of the things they had in there was all 13 issues of Batman: The Long Halloween, like the original single issues. So pretty cool stuff. So anyway, they're looking to resell them for nice tidy little profit, obviously. So they knew that I'm a big comic book fan, so offered me dibs to kind of pick through the selections and see if there was anything I might like to buy off of them. And so I took a look through, and I basically got just a stack of stuff that kind of caught my eye, just a variety of things. And I gave them $30 for them. So, I mean, it was nowhere near all the stuff that they had in that box. So, I mean, I didn't rip them off or anything. They've got plenty more to sell, and I didn't take the Batman ones either because I figured I'd just get the trade paperback of that at some point. And and then they could get far more for the individual issues on like eBay or something than I would be giving them. So just in no particular order here. Oh yeah. So first up, this was kind of interesting. This one caught my eye just for the artwork. We have issue number 1 of Sky Doll. Now this. It looks very much like something you'd see in Heavy Metal magazine. But this is apparently something that Marvel was doing very briefly. I don't know how much they continued with it. But basically doing... this is one of several comic books that they brought over from France. That, French comics. There's some terrific comic artists and writers over there. And so they were bringing over 4 miniseries from France. And translating them to English over here for the first time. So this was one of them, just kind of this cool sci-fi story that I just thought I just really liked the artwork in it. It kind of reminded me of, like heavy metal / rock and roll type of artwork. So very, very cool. So anyway, taking a look at the back here, the other ones that they did Sky Doll, which was a 3-issue series. They did Universal War 1, which was 6 issues. Samurai, which was 4, and Scourge of the Gods, which was 6. So just taking a look at that, and they've got some previews for them in the back of this issue as well. I'd like to pick up all 4 of those, actually, because I really like what I've seen so far. Next up, I also grabbed Kabuki. Yes, very nice. Kabuki. I had heard of this one, but never seen it. So I thought, yeah, what the heck, I'll check it out. That sounds pretty cool. And this is, it says Images 2. Images, number 2. So this is like a, oh no, it's a story. I was going to say, is it like an art book? But again, kind of caught my eye with the artwork. Just really, really nice looking book. Next up, this is a reprint edition of a classic comic from the bygone days of yesteryear. A reprint of the very first issue, the original first issue from, does it even say? 1963, from February 1963, we have Magnus Robot Fighter 4000 AD, issue number 1. And if we take a look inside, you can see that it is the original 60s comic reprinted in just beautiful glossy glory. So very cool stuff there, just a nice bit of nostalgia there. I never really read many of the Magnus Robot Fighter comics before, but I always had my eye on them. I thought they looked pretty cool. Next up, this would just look like kind of a cool horror comic. We have Feeders, A Nightmare in Widescreen. If we take a look here, yeah, if you look, widescreen, so all the panels are kind of like this CinemaScope aspect ratio view, with there's a few exceptions in here, I think, or not. No, actually they are all like that except for just some of the panels towards the end. But yeah, kind of cool. So basically just a kind of a horror story, zombie story, something like that. Next up, this is a series that I again have seen around for years and never really looked into much. But we have Madman Comics. We got number 12 here, which is The Exit of Dr. Boyfard, part 1. There we go. And then we have number 13, which is The Exit of Dr. Boyfard, part 2. So there we go. Very cool stuff. Yeah, I've heard, as I say, I haven't really read them. I've just kind of seen them around. I was just aware of them. I've heard this is a really good series, so I've been wanting to check it out for a while. So looking forward to it. Next up, we have one from Fantagraphics Books. This is kind of, kind of done in the style of the underground comics of the 60s and 70s and whatnot, and kind of carrying on that tradition of weirdness, just I think without all the, not quite as extreme in the sexual content and whatnot. Well, we have Hate, issue number 20. Yes, now this is not a hate mag by any stretch. It's basically just it's a humor comic, and it's just done in this kind of crazy style. Yeah, like, who will cut my hair and stuff like that. And then we have I don't know. We still got like this old school style ad on the back. Yeah. So anyway, Hate, another one that I'd seen around and always wanted to check out. And then what do we got? Yeah. So that's it for the individual issues, and then also from the collection of stuff. We got this one, America's Best Comics, which is primarily stuff, it's written by Alan Moore and a bunch of, I guess it's not all written by Alan Moore, or is it? Yeah, it is all written by Alan Moore, never mind. Alright, so America's Best Comics is basically a collection of first issues of various comics that Alan Moore worked on. So, pretty cool. All different artists in there. Very nice. So, what have we got here? We have Tom Strong, The First American and U.S. Angel, Promethea, Top 10, Jack Be Quick, America's Best Comics, Gray Shirt, The Cobweb, and Splash Brannigan. So, there you go. So, yeah, pretty cool. Always down for some more Alan Moore in the collection. Now, next up, this is one that I didn't realize, well, I guess I did realize this is issue the second and third trade paperbacks. This has since been reissued. I wish I'd known that before. I would have just got the reissues instead. But this is from the same same writer who created Y, The Last Man. We have Ex Machina issue number or trade paperback number 2, and put it over here actually, and trade paperback number 3. So obviously this type of story you want to start from the beginning, but I mean that's beautiful, beautiful artwork in there. Very nice, very nice indeed. I'm going to actually move this one down here, and we'll slide that one in there. Kind of. Always a challenge putting these on the music stand. All right, there we go. So, yeah. So at the very least, I'm probably going to pick up. So this is the original trade paperback releases from. Is it Wildstorm? Put these out. Yeah, I'm just grabbing everything here. Wildstorm. I think. Wildstorm, yes. So originally, I guess, published in single issue form and then put out in trade paperbacks. I don't really know anything about it. Again, it just kind of caught my eye, and I didn't even realize at the time it was by the same guy who did Y, The Last Man, which I have never read, by the way. It's one of those ones that people have been recommending to me forever. Yeah, I really need to check it out. Apparently, they're working on a TV series of Y, The Last Man. Yeah, so they're going to do like a long-form television adaptation of some kind. Next up, as you know, I recently read and that's it for the stuff that I got from the, the Box O comics that Netta and her boyfriend got. But, yeah, so next up, as you know, I recently read the Dan Abnett run on Guardians of the Galaxy from the mid to late 2000s. Really good stuff. I really enjoyed them a lot. There was 2 volumes. 25 issues total covered across them. There's a lot of, it touches on a lot of like massive crossover events as well. You don't really need to read the crossovers to get the story. I mean, you do get the gist of it, and you know what's going on just from the Guardians of the Galaxy portions of it. I mean, they're kind of the center of a lot of it anyway. But things like the War of Kings and the Secret Invasion, and what else was there? There was a third thing going on. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, so really cool, the Dan Abnett run on Guardians of the Galaxy. Definitely check that out when you get a chance. So I've been really curious about checking out sort of the origins of the Guardians of the Galaxy characters. I've really been enjoying their newer kind of revamped adventures and such. So I wanted to sort of go back to the beginning and check out their origins. So the beginning of that journey is right here with Star-Lord, Guardian of the Galaxy. Now this is really cool. This is all of the original Star-Lord stories from back in the 70s. He originally started as almost a pulp hero type of character, written by Steve Englehart, and then later taken over by Chris Claremont and numerous other writers. Yeah, so very cool. Most of this book, I should mention, is in black and white. It is accurate to the original publications. So he originally appeared sort of as a recurring storyline in several other, like Marvel Spotlight and Marvel Premiere and stuff like that. And then there was a graphic novel, or there was a super special rather in color, and then there we go. And then we had sort of a mini series. And then in the 90s, it was revived by written by Timothy Zahn of Star Wars Heir to the Empire fame and numerous other sci-fi things. But yeah, anyway, really cool stuff. I've been enjoying checking it out. I have to say, Star-Lord, when he first appeared, wasn't particularly heroic. He was borderline insane, just wanting, his wife, I think it was his wife, had been killed by... like the original origin of Star-Lord, as it is shown in this book here, is quite different from what we've seen in Guardians of the Galaxy. Originally, his wife was killed by aliens, and it was his mother. His mother was killed by aliens, and he literally went on this lifelong quest for vengeance, and the opportunity to become Star-Lord came along, and he just became completely obsessed with being the one who was chosen, literally doing anything to be that one, like lying, cheating, stealing, killing, anything. So, I mean, he's anything but heroic in that very first story. In fact, I found him kind of an unlikable, crazy character. It wasn't until later when I think other writers took over that we began to see the development of the Star-Lord that we know, sort of the wisecracking space rogue. But yeah, it's quite interesting to go back to those early stories and sort of see how the character was back in the day. I mean, it was all this, very serious and important pulp sci-fi, So, but it's definitely interesting to check it out, and I actually really like that style of sci-fi, that kind of pulpy sci-fi. So, so it's been pretty cool checking that out. And then last, but most certainly not least, I said I wouldn't get the individual issues, I'd just pick up the trade paperback, so I did. I picked up Batman, The Long Halloween. There you go. Now you know why I was wearing the Batman shirt the whole time. Surprise! Sometimes it means nothing, though, because really this is the only sort of comic booky shirt I have. I have a few different Batman ones, and that's pretty much it. The rest is other stuff. So whenever I do comic books, I almost always wear a Batman shirt. But anyway, Batman The Long Halloween. I remember reading actually the very first issue of this when I think it was the collector's edition DVD of Batman Begins. They had a book with it that reprinted several Batman comics, and one of the ones they reprinted was the complete first issue of The Long Halloween. And ever since then, I've been meaning to pick up the trade paperback and read the whole story, but just kept putting it off until now. But this time I thought, you know what, this is the year we're going to do it. This is the Halloween. I'm going to do it. I'm going to check out the Ultimate Batman Halloween story. Well, it's not just Halloween. It actually stretches across all the major holidays of the year, and the story takes place over the course of a little bit over the, more or less over a year. But there you go. So that is it. A whole big freaking pile of comics. As I always like to say, read till your eyeballs fall out. Good stuff. There is a couple of other stories by the same duo, Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, who brought us The Long Halloween. There's Dark Victory, which is another one. It's kind of a follow-up. And then there's a second one that falls in between the two. I can't remember. Does it say in here somewhere? Yeah, I don't think it does. Authors, Haunted Knight. Maybe that's the one. Batman Haunted Knight. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Sometimes they'll mention in the back, they'll have like an ad for the other ones. But yeah, so I'm going to read this, and if I like it, which I'm sure I will, I've heard nothing but good things about it all these years. Yeah, I will likely pick up the other things, other Batman stories written by Mr. Loeb and Mr. Sale. Alrighty, folks, that is it for this comic book update. Hope you enjoyed it. Just like to take a brief moment to thank my Patreon sponsors. Hey, thanks, Patreon sponsors. Appreciate the support, big time. Especially big thanks to my two highest level sponsors, Kyle Pellegrini and Get Your Gorgeous On, the e-mag maintained by Michelle O'Toole and Simon Hedger. Thank you very, very much, guys. Really appreciate the support. Yeah, please do consider becoming a sponsor, because it just helps me to pick up more cool stuff like this to review and just do more and more videos for you. Alrighty, that is it for me to you for now. So until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara. Seriously, where the fuck did it go? Where else could it be? There's nowhere else that it could be. I've misplaced my issue number 1 of Escape from New York. Huh. 2, 3, 4, 5. Where the fuck else would it be? Oh, right in front of me. It was right under the gems. It was just so perfectly aligned that I didn't see it, and I just turned my living room upside down looking for it. All right, let's carry on.